back, still on Fyke Isle, after we've just driven off the pester that turned out to be Annabelle. So we've just spoken to Kira and she's given us a location for Graham, who we now have to bring over to Fyke Isle. Let's have a look on the map where he is. Alright, okay. So if I take this boat just across the water, there's actually a new town here I'm yet to visit, and he's a fisherman, so that would explain why he's right next to the riverside. So we best head over there, bring Graham back to the tower, and then perhaps him and Annabelle can lift the curse off this place. Can he shoot? Probably still going to be the odd few monsters lying in wait for me as I try to get to this boat. I cleared out most of them in the last episode.
A fresh corpse. Must have come here a while after the nobleman's death.
Might be able to avoid a fight here, actually. Those drowners over there.
Come on!
Oh, I have to say it. Wait a minute, there's one underneath the boat. Okay, there's rock fiends. Away from him. That pygmy should finish him off. Now there's a drowner underneath this boat. Just can't see him. There he is. Oh, it's a rock fiend, right? If I poked him, perhaps that'll... At last, there we go. I've been trying to move around to get him. He was bugged underneath the boat then and stuck, so I've just been moving around trying to get him out. Over the hell.
What? Lost your nerve?
At least they're in sync with one another. Dealt with. Look these up, take the boat and then head across. Hide. There's the last one, another hide, good. I wonder if I can take a nibble on, actually. I'm about half health. Let's take an egg. Take the helm and then head north. Be careful not to hit the riverbed, it's very close proximity, this island. Here we are, Hoddleton. Looks like Graham's home, which is good news. Enough Guardian soldiers here as well.
I want to talk.
You're deaf, damn it! I told you! Who are you?
Means Fyke Isle, I'm a witcher.
I've been to the island. I know what happened there.
Just give him the right answer.
What do you want of me?
Want to talk to you about Annabelle.
Annabelle? What can you know about her?
I met her. Talked to her.
Annabelle's dead. Drank poison. And I couldn't save her.
Did you love her?
Something mad. Loved her so deep I believed we'd come through, believed we'd be together. Of course, it was not to her father's liking. His daughter and a plain lout.
What happened on Fyke Isle? You gotta tell me.
'Twere Millie, Finch and Faulkner. They rallied the men, all roughs, to go to the Isle, take back what was ours from the noble. They knew I was known at the tower, that the Lord's servants would open the gate for me since I sold them fish.
They forced you to go with them?
No, I saw my chance in it. For Annabelle and me to flee. But it all spun in a chaos. Our boys from the village, they started killing everyone. Annabelle, they wanted to rape. 'Twas then she drank the poison. Mage must have gave it her. I ran out the tower hollering that I wanted to die, cursing them all to hell. Don't force me to speak of it. No more, please.
He's telling the truth. You can tell by the way he's saying it.
Said you were hollering as you fled the tower, the island. What exactly did you say?
I don't remember. I wanted them to pay for what they'd done to her.
Might have cursed them. There's a powerful magic aura on Fyke Isle. Passions, evil intent, strong emotions of any kind can activate it. Your words could be the curse's source.
She took the poison because of them.
It wasn't poison. Annabelle drank a strong sleeping potion. Mage wanted to protect her, make it look like she was dead. Convinced everyone.
But that means... is she... You said you spoke to her?
Spoke to a ghost. By the time she awoke, tower was full of cold corpses. And rats. She was warm meat. Rats ate her alive.
She was alive the whole time? But... Can't be. She was cold all through like a corpse. I shook her, begged her, open your eyes. I never thought...
It's not your fault. No guilt in not knowing, and you couldn't know it wasn't poison she drank.
Gods, what have I done? If I had stayed behind to bury her, I didn't notice she was alive. It might have ended different, ended well.
If you'd stayed on the island, I doubt you'd have survived.
I'd take death over leaving her to the rats like that. But there's naught I can do about it now.
Wrong on that count. Annabelle needs you. You can help her.
She's still there? In the tower? Can I see her?
Yeah. One thing you should know, though. In death, Annabelle turned into a pesta.
A pester? What's that?
More than a restless ghost. A plague maiden. A powerful wraith filled with grief and hatred that drive her. Give her the power to sow disease and death.
She suffers. How am I to help her? Gods know I'm willing.
Annabelle thinks you abandoned her.
Gods! She hates me. And all this time she's thought I ran, abandoned her.
Yes, go to the tower, talk to her. Maybe you can convince her that's not how it was.
I thought she died. I'd never left her there otherwise.
A curse has imprisoned Annabelle and the other spirits on the island. Love can shatter its power, free her and them.
Just as in the legends.
If you know the legends, you know one kiss is enough to break an evil spell. On one condition. That it's a kiss from someone whose love is true.
I told you. I said I love her with all my heart. Take me to her, please.
It's dangerous. There are risks involved. Understand that, don't you?
Of course. I'm no coward. I'll not run this time.
Okay, let's go now and meet you there. I sort of want to look around a little bit, but I don't want to leave him to go there by himself. If I say meet you there, can I then change my mind and go there with him?
Nothing. Meet you by the tower on Fyke Isle.
Good. I'll await you there.
Meet Graham on Fyke. Right, he's already gone. Okay, that's fine. But we got a couple of updates there in our journal. So let's have a look. Tower full of mice. A horrible curse had befallen Fyke Isle and the tower that had stood upon it. Half a year prior, Lord Vesserad had moved his court there, seeking shelter from approaching Nilfgaardian armies. While famine raged all around, the Lord of Velen wallowed in excess and cared not a whit for his suffering vassals. The gods saw fit to punish him and, towards this end, cursed him. One day, a host of mice scurried into the tower and proceeded to devour everything, including Vesserad, his court, and his resident mage, Alexander. The isle had been haunted since that day, and fishermen feared to sail to the lake, putting yet another dent in the already battered local economy. The local peasants thus asked Kira to lift the curse, and she turned to the Witcher for help. Enticed by Kira's charms and her promise of additional rewards, Geralt took on the task. The sorceress equipped him with a magic lamp he could use to commune with dead souls, gave him a firm pat on the rear for good luck, and sent him off to lift the curse. So we don't have an extra entry on Graham or Annabelle quite yet, but that's just another sort of extract that we already know about how the island became cursed in the first place. Don't have Pester entry quite yet either. It's okay. Okay, let's have a look around his foot. There doesn't seem to be anything actually. Oh, hang on.
A girl and plated flowers. Looks like a small shrine.
Oh, there's a noose here. Was he? I think he was. I think Graham was ready to hang himself for what had happened. Maybe that's why he didn't want to be disturbed by that peasant that was knocking when we arrived. And us knocking telling him we know of the islands, and what happened there stopped him. Has to be. That has to be the explanation to this. Wow. Deep. Powerful shit going on. I'm actually glad I didn't go straight there now. We could see what was going on. Don't think there'll be anything around this outside here. Nah, don't think so. Okay, that just leads into this next village that we haven't visited yet, but we want to get this quest finished with. We'll find out the solution to it. So we're going to make our way back to Fyke Isle, and I will see you there in a moment. Nearly there now, approaching the gate. Had to clear out another rock fiend that was in my way, but no hassle really. At least use my Quen shield to get myself back up to full health.
Let's go to the tower.
Here he is. Whoa, okay.
We wander this place because of you! I've waited long enough for revenge, and now it comes to us on its own.
No, run! We've got to go, they'll kill me!
Bloody hell, rats.
Last I came through here, I still hoped Annabelle and me weren't impossible. We could have been together, and now she's dead. And it's my fault. If only I'd been able to protect her.
Can't change the past, but you can still help Annabelle to move on, to rest in peace.
It's terrifying here. It's too quiet.
Chop chop, speed up. Let's get this over with.
I remember the screams. Inhuman they were. Now it's silent. They're dead. All dead.
Don't think about that. Keep walking.
More floor. Hopefully Graham says the right thing to Annabelle and is able to help lift the curse of this place. Not just for both their sakes as well, for all the other souls that are tormented to remain here while the curse is active. See, those wraiths were blaming Graham that we just fought then for them being imprisoned here. So there's more than just Annabelle and Graham in store. Door's still open for us. Nearly there. Ready, Graham?
You have not forgotten. You've returned for me.
Is that?
Don't you recognize it? It's me, Annabelle. The one you abandoned, remember?
Annabelle, I was sure you was dead. If I'd known otherwise, I'd never have left you. I'd do anything for you. I would. You know that well. Believe me, I beg you.
Prove it. Kiss me.
Graham, careful.
At last.
The curse is lifted, and Graham and Annabelle are reunited.
And there we go. Graham has passed, along with Annabelle. Well, Graham, I'm sure that's what you would have wanted. But regardless of what happened, Guy has balls of steel to go through with that. I mean, that was no small feat, kissing a pester.
Experimenting on humans. Never would have gotten away with it if the Conclave were still in charge.
So what the mage was doing. Ocean vial. A few leather scraps. Oh, the Mage Alexander's Log Part 1. Day 237. My experiments continue to return results I must consider unreliable. Methodological errors are not at fault. The problem lies in the shoddy and fallible research material I am forced to work with. Despite his prior assurance, Vesserad is unable to provide me with enough moderately healthy specimens for my tests. Most of the material is starved and terrified, having been dragged here straight from the dungeon. I waste a great deal of time daily washing and delousing them before I will so much as let them step foot into my laboratory. Sterility first. As Marty Sodergren managed to prove in her little-known work, the attitude of a patient undergoing treatment can have a significant impact on the battle against the disease. Unfortunately, the volunteers with which I am supplied do not show sufficient comprehension, let alone enthusiasm, for the noble work in which they are taking part in. In fact, it seems they consider the research part of their punishment. I have tried a few times, though I am a poor speaker, to convince them that they are contributing to the eradication of one of the greatest plagues tormenting mankind. I had the distinct impression they understood little, but perhaps their stupor was merely the result of the early stages of the illness. Of course, it is impossible to achieve success without significant sacrifices. The overwhelming majority of them will have to lay down their trifling lives on the altar of learning, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Jesus. He's, not a nice fella, is he, that Alexander guy? Makes you question why Kira would want to associate with him, given what he's been doing. I've already looted that. Oh god, must have more notes. Yep, log part 2. Day 346. I never did like rats, not because of their obscene tales, but rather on account of their lively, disturbing intelligence. They are always listening when a man believes he is talking only to himself, and, what's worse, they seem to understand. A few days ago I caught myself talking to one of them, to a particularly large black male with a torn off ear. At first I was overcome by panic. Was it the first manifestation of the illness? Of course that was impossible, for I had fortified my immunity with powerful spells. Upon further consideration I concluded it was an altogether natural reflex, one even the most learned among us find hard to restrain. We mages like to be listened to. I placed the black rat in a separate cage. The time will come for it to play part in the tests. Meanwhile, it can keep me company and observe. I've noticed it looks with great concentration at the cages of its infected brethren, particularly those in the last stages of illness. Fascinating. Speaking of company, I have none. Besides the black rat, I cannot hope for better. Besserad avoids the laboratory and has expressed his desire for his daughter to steer clear of me as well. At first I thought he feared a moral scandal, which will be risible in the extreme, but he explained the true nature in due course. It seems Annabelle has always possessed a fragile psychic constitution. Observing the ill might throw her into foul humours. The peasants taking part in the study have stopped speaking to me. I don't know what they believe this little act of defiance will serve. It does me no harm. They made for lousy conversation partners. There remains, of course, the woman, but as for her, I try to limit my contact. And we've got to day 362. My black rat has died. Today I found him curled up in his cage. I suspected he had become infected on accident, but during the autopsy I did not uncover any signs of the illness. He was also perfectly well fed. Strange. From a magical point of view, his death remains unexplained, something which I must admit irritates the scholar in me. But, as mentioned previously, I am not particularly fond of rats. Yeah, Alexander, you, bit fucked up, mate. Be glad I never ran into you, or you would have met your end much sooner than you did. Well, at least we've lifted the curse and we can go and tell Kira the good news. I mean, as we are in this very grey, moral world, we may have lifted the curse, but it wasn't without suffering. Say, Graham perished, sacrificed himself to be with Annabelle in the afterlife, a sacrifice which he was obviously willing to make, and you can't fault him for that. I mean, by the looks of things, when we were looking around his hut, he was going to hang himself anyway, so better he passes into the afterlife with his beloved than hang himself and leave her cursed here. Not exactly a happy ending, but hang on. Where the hell am I? Has this always been open? I don't remember seeing this little bit out here. Wonder if this is new, or something that's just opened up after you've completed the quest. Fairly certain I would have seen it otherwise. Oh well. I took a look around in here, so I thought, ah damn, thought I might be able to pick up those notes. Oh! Basilisk decoction. There's that body, I remember. That decoction was craftily hidden, wasn't it? Sort of a bit curious if I happen to miss anything else. No, there's literally nothing on that floor. Looks like there's a lot of stuff up there, but there's no way of me getting up to it. Leads down into the cellar and we want out the front door.
wonder what led them here. Hunger or greed.
These corpses have always been here. I've been blind. Must have walked past this guy quite a few times. That or it's just glowing red for me to investigate him again. Okay, Kira is quite the distance away, isn't she? Yes, she is. I think we've explored pretty much most crevices and hidden areas on Fyke Isle. We've lifted the curse, sun is rising, and the isle should be, I'd say, free to be populated again, but I can't really see that happening. But any passers-by will be free of getting attacked by at least spectres and whatnot from the tower. It's also suspect, of course, to all the drowners and rock fiends that surround this place, but anybody venturing here should really expect that, given the reputation and the, well, overall spookiness that the island exudes from it. I can still sense plenty of noises and monsters around here. No, there's a fast travel point there, which I am going to take a fast point travel, I think, up to Kira's hut. It's a long boat ride back to her, although I do need to... No, I left my boat there, didn't I? She's still got a boat, so no need to worry of that detail. The only place of this island we haven't explored is just down here. There was a little off island there, you know. Yeah, just there. It's completely separate. I'm going to have to check that out at some point. There's got to be something on there. There's no reason for it to be so isolated otherwise. Oops, Axie out then.
Show me what you got.
Might not need to engage these really, I'm just having a look now. Got a bit of an overwatch of this hill. No, I don't think I need to. Can't see anything that looks lootable at least. No ships or boats that happen to have shipwrecked here, crashed, that I'm able to loot. Just herbs. That's fine. Okay, Fyke Isle. Time to leave you, at least for now. I'm feeling we will be returning at a later point in time with this ceremonial area on this side of the island looking a bit suspect. But I'm going to take the fast travel point up to Kira's hut. We've just hit level 7 as well, so we've got an extra ability point to spend. It looks like we're going to Mid-Copse. Oraton is definitely somewhere I am wanting to visit shortly. Think about travelling there on the way through actually, but I am going to take just the fast travel just to get there as quick as I can.